What's up guys, Yu here, and if you told me a while ago that I would be reviewing a wave of Infernity cards, I wouldn't have believed you. But here we are, 5 new Infernity cards. Let's talk about it. I mean, if you guys know me, I'm basically Infernity Hero at this point. I'm like the #1 Infernity YouTuber. I'm so hyped for these cards, and when I was watching the stream, I was so impressed. Now, one thing I do have to say, boy, the Infernity Wildcat looks awful. It doesn't fit in with the rest of the monsters, and the art, I'm not a fan. Gonna be honest. But when I look at the actual card, then it's when it becomes good. So level 3 Dark Fiend. Now, if only this was a beast. If this was a beast, you could use Rescue Cat and Summon a Monk to summon 2 copies of this from the deck, go to Cherubini. But the reality is, it's a Fiend. Okay, too bad, whatever. More importantly, it's level 3 Fiend. Tuner. This is big. Being a tuner, an additional tuner with a decent effect, makes it so that we can do a lot of things. Hulky Fibrax becomes an even better option than before, due to suddenly summoning an additional level 3 body on the field. Infernity General suddenly becomes a good card. Infernity General is a card that some regions of the TCG have, we don't have it. Let's hope it comes with the rest of the wave to the rest of us, because if we can't have General, that's going to be a bit tricky. But, you know, even if this was like a vanilla monster, if this was not even an effect monster, this would already be a decent card on its own. But it gets better. By the way, level 3 Dark. Hello, 3 Access builds. You can special summon only one card with this card's name per turn with its first effect. You can just summon it multiple times, just one time with its own effect. Fair enough, everything needs to have once per turn, I get it. You can use this card's name effect once per turn. You can send one other Infinity monster from your hand to the graveyard, special summon this card from your hand. The one big issue Infernity has is that it has no real starters, no way to discard cards that are really good besides Launcher. Boom, there we go. It discards a card, and it summons itself. If that's not good already. If you have no cards in your hand, you can banish one Infernity monster from the graveyard, increase or decrease this card's level by 1 until the end of the turn. This makes this card hella busted. I mean, some of you people might not understand why this is good, but here's a few examples. Increase its level to 4. Go into the Garrus, revive Necromancer. Necromancer revives, for example, Archfiend. I mean, boom, that's alone a good combo. It can go into level 2, combine with Necromancer and Archfiend to go into Trishula. We now have a way to go into Trishula without needing to run Infernity Beetle, which is just not a good tuner. We can just go to... we can do so much stuff with this. I mean... boy. And the banishing isn't even a bad part either. Banish Infernity Mirage from your graveyard. Oh, now we can summon it back with Leviair. You have a General at Mirage in your graveyard, for example. Okay, banish the Mirage, use the General effect to summon this and Necromancer back. Leviair, get the Mirage back. This opens the doors to so many combos, like if they had just released this card, I would already be satisfied. This card is enough to make Infernity really, really good. But it doesn't stop there. No, sir. You have more cards. And now, I was positive about this card, but this art looks sick. I really like its, the vibe it has, if that makes sense. So let's look at the actual card. Infernity Conjurer. Probably gonna be something like Infernity Summoner or something. I already like the name Summoner over Conjurer. This name makes I don't know, it sounds weird to me. Another level 3 Dark Fiend. I mean, any 3 Access fans in chat? Boris? Just kidding. Anyways, we can only use this card's name second effect once per turn. And now, before we actually read this, once again, I talked about General before. It would have been nice before this to get a good level 3 Dark Fiend, so Leviair plays become easier, for example. If you have no cards in your hand, your opponent's monster loses 800 attack. Okay, so far it doesn't have an effect. We're gonna negate this as that's just simply not good. Well, okay, gonna give it some credit, I guess. This means you, it's 1200 attack with this. It basically is 2k attack, which isn't terrible. Makes it hard to run over, so that's the thing. If this card's in your graveyard and you have no cards in your hand, you can special summon this card, banish it if it leaves the field. Just an additional summon for free, you don't really have to do much for it. Oh boy. Oh boy. This is really good. Like, It didn't require much to be good, considering it's level 3 Archfiend. But throwing this on top of everything else, Infernity Burning Abyss is now definitely an option. Infernity Sworn, for example, is a build I've considered before, now becomes very good. Wow, this just... Wow, doesn't matter how it gets sent to the grave, just boom. Special summon another level 3 body on the field. So 2 cards in, and the new support's already wild. These 2 new monsters are insane. I mean, level 3 means Cherubini access. Okay. And it makes Leviair, by the way, is now really easy to make as well. And Leviair means another Mirage Summon, and that's just broken. Banishing it isn't as nice. Rather not banish it, but it's fine as well. Exceed Infernity is looking really good as well. Infernity Paranoia. This looks like a vibe check. If you ever saw the vibe check meme, you'll get what I mean. By the way, is this 100? Yeah, that's 100 eyes. Huh, interesting. You can only activate 1 card with its name once per turn. Okay, fair. Means you'll probably just run one off because it's searchable. Tribute 1 dark monster you control. Now, keep in mind, it does not say tribute 1 Infernity monster. Tribute 1 dark monster. For example, Danger. Special summon 1 Infernity monster from your deck or graveyard with the same level but a different name. But its effects are negated, and yeah, not gonna lie, this kinda sucks. But this means you can tribute any level 3 dark, summon Conjurer from the grave, use the material for something and revive it. That's very good. But one more door this opens, and that's where it becomes interesting. If you somehow find a way to get a level 7 dark on the field. You can tribute it, summon General from your deck. General doesn't have an effect on the field. When you link it away or something, boom. And it sets up a lot of plays as well. This is really, really good. But it doesn't stop there, it has a second effect. During your main phase, if this card's in your graveyard, except the turn it was sent to the graveyard. Never mind, that would be good. Okay, next. Just kidding, but... It would have been better if you could use it the same turn, but I understand. You can banish this card from the graveyard to target 1 Infernity monster in your graveyard, add the monster to your hand. Okay, so let's say they miraculously somehow break your board, but they aren't able to set up a negate. Okay, you either add back a Mirage or a Necromancer from the graveyard to your hand. Normal summon it. Or you know, if you still have Saryuja or something on the board, can even special summon whatever you search. Just keep the combos going. This means that breaking the board of an Infernity player is no longer enough. You need to break the board and set up a negate, otherwise the Infernity player will fire back really, really hard. The initial translation didn't have the part with it except turn to send to the grave. But still, this boy good. Also, I remember there being some ruling that if you return a banished card to your grave somehow, the card is being sent to the grave that turn. If anyone can confirm that, and if you can find a way to abuse that, this might be good. But just the fact alone that it gives you a better grind game is not terrible. Infernity Hell Archfiend. I remember once when I was young making custom cards, and I basically created this card, like name-wise at least. Hell Archfiend, Hell Demon. No idea how they will name it in TCG, maybe like Infernity Nether Archfiend. I don't know. Generic materials, 2200 attack. Okay. Makes hard to screw up, right? Well, are you up for a surprise? Once per turn you can target 1 face up card on the field, negates effect until the end of the turn. And if you have no cards in your hand, you can destroy it. This does nothing. It needs to target a face up card. No face downs, only face up. And it's not a quick effect. Konami, do you have any idea how Infernity works? This is not a quick effect. But, in their defense, I guess, it's level 6, makes it easy to go into, but the first effect is useless. Okay, maybe it's salvaged by its second effect. If this card battles an opponent's monster, any battle damage this card inflicts to your opponent is doubled while you have no cards in your hand. This thing? Dealing battle damage? My battle with an opponent's monster? Konami's son, do you have any idea what you're doing? That's just so unrealistic. Dark Synchro monster summoned using this card or Synchro material can make up to 2 attacks on monsters during each battle phase. What? confused. Huh? What? Where's the good effect? This is just a normal monster. This doesn't have an effect. Look, I get what you're trying to do here. It's simple. It's very simple actually. You have an Archfiend and 2 Beetle. You go into this and then use this and the other Beetle to go into 100 Eyes. Banish this to copy its effect, since 100 Eyes is level 6 or lower Fiend. They can attack twice and it copies this effect as well. But that's not really good. And I guess if you copy the effect that way you get the first effect twice, but... Konami, you're not running Beetles now anymore, so... What is this shit? So, we got some good cards, and then we got this cringy-ass garbage card. We probably will run one copy, because it's Infernity in the name, but oh boy, is it terrible. This is really, really terrible. This does nothing. It's basically a vanilla beatstick. It's not even that high of an attack either. I guess the other cards are too good. Now we have the final card, Infernity Suppression. Let's see. Normal trap card. You can only activate one card with this name per turn. Okay. If you have no cards in your hand, you can activate this card during the turn it is set. It starts really good. When your opponent activates a monster effect. Sounds really good, right? While you control an Infernity monster. It's just not that good. Look, I get where you're coming from if you think this is good, but keep this in mind, right? It only negates the effect, it doesn't destroy. It's a trap. And you need to control an Infernity monster and have an empty hand. You can play around this as the opponent. This is not like a copy called by the Grave replacement at all that some people considered. Let's say you're going through Infernity loops, right? First of all, when are you gonna use this card? You probably need to hard draw it because you have no real space in combos to actually search this card. Okay, so you get your Infernity monster, say your Link Bolt, to go to Sayuja. And then what? This card does nothing. There are very select situations where this card will actually do something. The first effect. The second effect is just not that... I mean, yeah, it's one effect, but I mean... Like... I think it's pretty terrible. I don't think you will run this. It sounds great on paper, but it's not practical at all. I mean, realistically, if you've played Infernity, how many times do you truly control only an Infernity monster and are you really vulnerable to hand traps? They can just wait until Nibiru, I mean this especially counts something like Nibiru, until you do your stuff and then they just drop their hand trap. And if you want to... You need to hard draw this as well, meaning you have left cards to play with in the first place. So, honestly, I don't think you will be running this. This might be a one-off, but it just does nothing. It's a vanilla 2200 attack, it does nothing. Paranoia is pretty good, it's actually really good. Not sure about the ratio here. Conjurer is pretty good as well. And Wildcat is really good. Very disappointed at the Synchro, not gonna lie. When I looked at the art, I thought this was good. This is gonna be cool, a new Archfiend. But it does nothing. It's a shame. And then for this trap, it shouldn't have both restrictions. Just if you have no hands, boom. Having both restrictions is too much if you ask me. It just makes it non-practical. I mean, yes, in theory it counters cards like Nibiru, but they can just, you know, wait till you not control an Infernity monster. Many of the issues with the deck still haven't been solved to the point where you still can play it pure. I mean, there's probably ways to do it. Yeah, somewhat pure-ish. But you won't have Infernity monsters on the field all the time. That's something that will not change with the new support, and in that case, this card is just not good enough. I guess they can realistically never really snipe your Archfiend. I guess that's a good thing. They can't really just hit your Necromancer or Archfiend to the Veiler, so I guess it counters some hand traps. But Impairment still exists, so this doesn't prevent that stuff. I have mixed feelings about Suppression. Maybe testing will lead to positive results, but looking at it, I'm not impressed. This will be a one-off, but it should have been better. They should have given us either a level 8 synchro that's actually good, because we still don't have a named Infernity level 8 synchro that's good, or a better level 6 synchro, but this is not a good card. This definitely isn't a good card. One thing that I just thought of, this works with Tour Guide. Actually, both these cards work with Tour Guide and level 3 Dark Fiends. So theoretically, you could summon this from deck with Tour Guide, and then instantly can revive this again. That's not terrible. But yeah, Conjurer, it's a question mark, but it's definitely not a bad card. Like, it becomes very easy to just get Conjurer and Necromancer and do stuff there. Wildcat is definitely great. It's a 3 of no debate. This card you will run 3 copies in practically every build. Honestly, I should be happy with that, and I am happy with that. Wildcat alone makes this wave worthwhile. Conjurer is not a bad card either. Paranoia is an interesting card, but it's also good. The 2 last cards just aren't that great, I think. So in general, I'm very satisfied. They could have made this entire wave terrible, and they didn't. They gave us very good cards, which is a dangerous thing, as now Infernity has meta potential. It already kinda had meta potential, it's just a matter of formats, how many hand traps get run, etc. At least at regional level, maybe topping a watch list might be a bit of a challenge, but wow. From the bottom of my heart, if any Konami employee for whatever reason is watching this, thank you. I've been waiting for Infernity support for so long, and we finally got it. I'm just so happy. One PSA, I guess. I will be at a friend's house today and tomorrow, so there won't be any Infernity builds yet. The second I get home, I will be start theory crafting, and there will be a lot of Infernity builds coming few days. Expect a lot of Infernity. Really. But yeah, not today, because I'm gonna have a fun time with some friends. Already had it planned. Yeah. So it might be a bit slow. Sunday I'll be probably be ready, and I'll be doing lots of Infernity builds. I'll be breaking this deck for sure. There's basically going to be an Infernity channel for a while. I'm so happy. But yeah, there's going to be a bit of a delay with me uploading replays. Hope you guys understand. You probably do. I mean, you guys are great. You always understand that kind of stuff. So I'm going to end the video here, as it's been 18 minutes. But yeah, if people ever doubt, do I really like Yu-Gi-Oh? I mean, just hear how passionate I am about these cards. Just if something I love gets support, I'm really happy. I might do a review for the other cards as well, but there's not that much to talk about. I mean, this card is neat. This is mostly... It's interesting. Oh wait, this is actually... I might talk about this. It's actually a pretty neat card. This is garbage. This shouldn't have been revealed. But yeah, I'll probably do a review on those, maybe. Not sure, don't think so. Maybe, I'll figure it out. Anyways, I'm gonna end the video here. It's way too long. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys next time. Starts here, signing out.